Alright, what's up? So today we are back with another video. This is going to be a bit of a challenge video. Not a challenge for anyone else. Obviously, if you'd like to do it, feel free. It was definitely a tough and fun challenge. I mean, it was a bit of a struggle, but the feeling of actually doing it was fun. So basically, it's just going to be a UFC 4 no block challenge. In this video, I'll fight 3 Div 20 opponents. One of them may not be a Div 20. Yeah, they're all Div 20 opponents, so 3 Div 20 opponents, and in each of the fights, I will not use my block at all. I won't use my block in the clinch, in toy whip, on the ground, when he got me in top mount, when he's got me in half guard postured up, when he's got me on the feet, when he's punching me, when he's kicking me, when he's, flying kneeing me, all sorts. I will not use my block from my body, my head, my legs, on the ground, in the clinch, anywhere. So just basically, like I said, no block, 3 Div 20s. Let's see how many wins I can try and get. So let's get into it here. The first fight I come up against, doing this on YouTube was just a little bit easier. I'm coming up against Enugera. He's 1-0 on me. So, I mean, this is going to be a tough fight. You have to think this fella's 1-0 on me. And that's using my block. That's using everything I can. And now I have to face him with no block. So, obviously, the thought process is, use a little bit of head movement and try and get him down. These fights will be obviously grappling primarily, because it's easier to control somebody on the ground. But at the same time, you do have to think, regardless, if they flip me and get me into half guard, I cannot block a single time. I can post and slip, but look at this. It was tough. It was tough. I can't even lie. It felt so weird, and I know I feel like it may be a little bit easier just to think of, but look, right now I can't. He even done the exploit on me. He literally exploited me unranked for a UFC 4 win, so I thought that was pretty funny. So he ends up. Luckily, I do get a takedown here. Here we are. I mean, I was wrong the first time, but we got it eventually. But yeah, so basically he done the unblockable hook exploit off the clinch exit, which is very cheesy. Gets a rock, if not a drop, most times. But here we are, inside control. He does escape, and I do try and go into top mount, but I rush it a little bit. Luckily, my grappling was decent. Now, I thought heavyweight may possibly be the hardest division to do this in, considering, obviously there's pros and cons in every division. It's the lighter ones, the heavier ones, the middle ones. In the heavier ones, obviously the pros are, when I am wrestling, I will be doing more damage. So there's more of a chance of me finishing them on the ground. Their stamina drains quicker. But obviously the cons are, if this fella flips me, if I find myself on the feet with this fella, I don't have much room for error. He could just take me out in the matter of 2 combos in heavyweight. I mean, the power is just immense. I don't have the footwork because my character's so slow and so powerful to be able to escape the punches. Like if I was in flyweight, I'd be able to actually just circle away from some of the punches. But unfortunately, I can't use my footwork as efficiently in heavyweight. So they were the challenges obviously I ran into, and I thought, it'd be fun doing it in heavyweight, because I feel like if I do get it down to the ground, it does most benefit me. But like I said, if I can't get it down to the ground, it's definitely the most detrimental out of them all. Luckily, I find myself up against a big nog in this one, so obviously he's going to be willing to grapple with me. I also had to get these people down quick enough so they don't realise, alright, this fella, he isn't using his block. I mean, if this big nog had realised I'm not using my block, he wouldn't have taken me down so quickly, or at least attempted so many times, because if somebody's not using that block, you're going to punch them, you're going to kick them, you're going to knee them, you're going to elbow them, and you're just going to get them out of there. It's not that hard to beat an opponent with no block, so I had to kind of, give off the sense that I'm not afraid to strike. I hit him with a couple punches early on, but when he was hit reactioning me, sometimes it's more dangerous to move your head than it is to not and take, a normal knockdown. Whereas though, if you lean into a head kick, if you lean into a hook, it may, be a drop into knee on belly. It may be a drop into this little fetal position, and that would be a lot more detrimental than a drop into full guard, or maybe just even a mere rock. So as you can see here, I am just trying to move my head off to the side. I get a pullback counter, You know, no block involved, as you know, the title is, and the whole video is about. I do pull counter on him, which was definitely the most clutch thing, one of the most clutch things in this whole entire video out of all these fights. I am able to get that pull counter, and then I single leg hide him. I'm gaining a lot of GA here, as you can see my GA bar at the top. You know, I kind of let it die, or not let it die as such, but I let my GA go down there by kind of breaking the rhythm of my punches. But I'm looking to progress into top mount here. Side control will do. I felt maybe top mount he was going to deny. He was going to be too denial heavy on, because I know earlier, as you can see in the last fight, or in the last round, he was denying my top mount. I am getting a lot of denials here. Now I could side control Kimura him. I'm thinking if I can get more denials off, but at the same time, you know, submitting this character isn't going to be easy, especially with DC, you know. DC obviously has good subs, but probably not the greatest joint submissions, not the greatest Kimura's joint locks, and his submission stat probably won't help that out. But look, we're doing great. I mean, you have to think, for no block, this is a really good effort so far, win or lose. Going to side control here. Half guard, I do not get into. Luckily, he does not stand up. He opts to still want to grapple, even though I dominated him. This is where it gets dangerous. Sometimes the postures are quite hard to deny in this game, so you have to think, alright, right now, I'm sitting pretty, I'm inside control, but if this man postures into half guard one time, which he does, this could be it. And there, look, he did posture, but luckily he, like I said, he doesn't recognize I'm not using no block. Obviously, I didn't give them a message, I'm using no block. So he opts to go into side control because he feels like it'll be a more damaging position.
What are we saying?
Which couldn't be further from the truth, considering the challenge, but like I said, he's none the wiser as of right now.
Hell yeah. Round 1 knockout. Okay, that's true.
Fake an arm triangle, boom, boom, boom. He pushed her back down. Right now, like I said, just trying to get control, get denials, see what we can do here. I pushed her up in the last 25 seconds of the second round. And it looks like he's doing his own little no-block challenge there. It eats everyone of them to the face and starts blocking up before he's about to die. Here we are, though. And we pushed her up again. And we get to finish with 2 seconds left on the clock. And there we are. I just beat a Division 20 player with no block. Definitely one of my more impressive feats in UFC 4. And then we have 2 more Div 20s to see what we can do against in the heavyweight division. So, you know, one punch may be it, and I won't even have the block to be able to defend them. Alright, we'll get into the next fight now. So, as you can see, you got a nice little bit of division points from that too. I know, obviously, I haven't edited this video too well, but, you know, I haven't edited it at all. I just felt like it'd be easier if I just done this, and it's not too much of a bother. I do go Curse Blades in this one to, you know, kind of help with my wrestling heavy adapt, or to help with my wrestling heavy approach. And we come up against an Anthony Johnson, which maybe couldn't be a worse matchup considering the power. You know, I think only Ngannou could be a worse matchup in this moment in time. Obviously, if I get him down, that's all fine and dandy. But SBX Ronaldo was, look, lean into a head kick straight away. He jab uppercuts me. I mean, can you have much more of a rough start? I do get denied, and now I have to think, alright, I cannot deny here. I try and, you know, back up to the cage as quick as I can. I still can't block, Luckily, I find myself, you know, getting away from the cage. I'm trying to sway my head, as you'll see. Boom! I get a critical rock and I spear him off of it. Luckily, I'm able to get that counter. Counters were very clutch, but also very detrimental. As you seen at the start of the fight, I tried to slip straight. That wasn't there, and he head kicks me. Not much more brutal than leaning into a head kick. But as well as that, I do slip his jab. I slip straight lead, overhand him, get the rock, and spear him.
I might be fucking
I find myself
retarded,
in
but,
sprawl
like,
though, which is
I
quite
just think
unfortunate.
Cater's, like,
Because I'm thinking,
fucking
alright, this will
dog,
probably be a
and his
forced
hands are
stand-up
sharp.
now.
You can't just...
But he
You
takes
can't
his eye
sum
off
up
the
Calvin
ball.
Cater by
I
what
get
happened
into
in the
backside,
McCall
I
fight.
get back
You
into
just can't
backside,
do it.
and then I'm
You gotta
able to progress
fucking
from
look at the
backside
whole
posture
resume.
into side
And
control due
Cater
to
is
him going up,
certified, bro.
so I
He's
was
a
able to have the
dog.
stamina
He's never
advantage,
been
and I got that in
finished.
oil.
Never
Here I
been
am,
finished. He
controlling him in
doesn't
side
fade
control.
in the later
I'm getting
rounds.
all these
He's
elbows off.
fucking
These good
certified with the
elbows.
hands. He's got a little
I'm able to get my
wrestling
own GA,
foundation, you know.
going to
He can
crucifix here.
wrestle a bit.
He'll probably
What do y'all
move. I'm able not to get to the transition denial, but I mean, all is going well. You have to think this is a no block challenge, you know, and I'm able to get these people down quickly. Even if I get knocked down in the process, I'm not dying, and that's the main part. And then I'm able to dominate them on the ground. I mean, in my opinion, these denials are quite impressive. Obviously, to the likes of, you know, a Max or Blake or somebody to that level, they may not be as such. Well, obviously, but I feel like to some of the viewers, you know, and the lower ranked people, this would be pretty impressive in my opinion. It is too. And look at that. I get a first round Kimura submission due to my dominant side control denials. I mean, they were impressive actually, no matter who you are. Whether you're Max or, you know, somebody has a similar level in grappling, to be able to dominate somebody like that is quite good. And you have to think that was another Div 20 opponent dispatched off. Literally a Division 20, no more higher divisions in the game, and I'm able to take him out just like that. Now we find ourselves in another fight. Here we are in the Jones versus Cormier matchup. I apologise for the lack of editing. Obviously, I'm having to skip it like this, but this fight may not go well. You have to think this fella, he's not just Div 20, but he's also 2300 Div points. So he's Div 20 and beyond by, let me think, 350 points this fella is beyond Div 20. I mean, if there was a Div 25, he'd be at it. Just think of it like that. He is high Div top 100 and he's dominant. He does take me down very quickly with an Osogari. Obviously, John Jones, that's definitely been one of his best used tools. That Oso. And he's able to get me down. And as you can see there, no block as the challenge once again. And it is painful. Luckily, he decides to push it down quickly. And I don't receive too much damage. But it's dangerous. With somebody, Sergey Russ, he's a very dominant grappler. Like, he's a very, very good grappler in his own right. So I really have to stay careful, and I really just have to, you know, be on top at all times. To be honest, I can't afford to give him a flip. I can't afford. Look, he's building all the GA in the world here, but that's a smart thing to do. Take a note from that. If somebody's building that much GA and your character does have an arm triangle, it can really, you know, because you're in the rhythm of punching so much, and you know that transition isn't seen that often, it can kind of mess up your opponent, and it can remove all their grapple advantage, so they don't be get the flip or the transition that they want. My opponent here does top mount bobblehead, so you have to think, I mean, this challenge is made hard enough. Never mind the fact I'm coming up against a Div 20 player. Never mind the fact I'm coming up against a 2300 point Div 20 player. Never mind the fact I'm coming up against a John Jones. But now he's also top mount bobbleheading, which is you know, quite a challenge. He does try and opt out of top mount bobbleheading this time, and he pays the price. I'm able to bring his head health to red and get a lot of damage. We progress into side control here. Don't get the denial, which is unfortunate, but still we're staying on top, and that's the most important thing. We're getting all these denials off. Obviously the side control ones can be messed up a little bit. He is Russian, so the ping is a little bit hard, you know, hence the name Sergey Rus. But we're keeping it going, and that's what the most important thing is. We're not giving him the top mount, or we're not giving them the top control. We're staying heavy on top, you know, just controlling them as well as we can. Here we are, moving into a dominant position, getting moved into a dominant position, should I say. Actually, he's on top currently, ground and pounding me out, but I'm doing what I can. We'll see. He obviously has me in the side control cage here. He's throwing all them body knees. I do decide to move off because, you know, I've had enough of eating them. Luckily, I don't take too much damage that round, but at the same time, I may have, you know, lost that round due to them little baby punches. He was landing them, and he was landing a bunch of them. So I come out here obviously wanting to throw first, and I'm moving backwards and throwing my strikes a lot because I don't want him to kind of, you know, pull elbow me. Or boom, there we are. Get a lovely rock. Unfortunately, cannot get the drop, but we do pull counter him. And the pull counters leads to, you know, just a lot of things because he'll be more hesitant to throw that combination. Unfortunately, he is knee elbow spamming me. I mean, like I said, it's tough fighting a Div 20 player. It's tough fighting a John Jones player. It's made even harder that he's 2300. He's top mount bubble heading. And now on top of all of that, when we do find ourselves on the feet in the most dangerous position, he's knee elbow spamming me. I mean, I can't catch a break really, can I? I couldn't have thought anybody a little bit more simple while doing this challenge, could I not have? He is on top of me right now. Obviously, I'm going to try and get a full guard denial. And I get the flip off of it. I get the reversal and I find myself in his guard. And here we are. I'm able to progress into half guard. I know it's not the most entertaining of fights, but you have to think I'm literally using 0 block whatsoever. So I can't really take them risks on the feet that I usually would. So I think it's still impressive regardless of how I'm getting it done. I'm sure, you know, if you want to try it out, that'd be pretty cool. Even send me a clip of how it goes, you know, whether that be through Twitter or something, just at me and show me, you know, the end result and let me see how he's done. But this challenge was definitely not an easy one by any stretch of the imagination. Definitely the hardest challenge I've had to do in UFC 4. I'm destroying him in side control now, though. I'm getting a lot of damage off, getting a lot of elbows off, really just reducing that head health and reducing the stamina as well by getting, like I said, I'm getting the denials, but after that, to build GA, I'm landing those elbows, and those elbows with Daniel Cormier in heavyweight, I mean, they do, the damage they do is just unreal. I'm in the top mount now. Unfortunately, like I said, he is top mount bobbleheading, but we're still managing to get a lot of damage through the block. Still managing to break his block with the mount, ground and pound. He does get the denial off, which is a little disappointing, but we carry on. Obviously, right here, we're trying to build the GA, we're trying to keep the GA, and we're trying to get the denials off. Like I said, when he's building GA, I do go for that arm triangle. Unfortunately, he's a little more prepared for it this time. I think he's just trying to see out the round with this, avoid the possibility of taking any more damage, and just kind of trying to maybe even secure the round with it. That knee elbow he landed when my stamina was low was nasty, so it looks like he has. That round's a bit of a toss-up, landed the same total strikes. I did get a rock, more control, but he also landed 6 more significance. So right now it's close. You know, it's hard to say, but we do have 3 more rounds of it. I get flying knee, broken flying knee, and then he tries to body knee me again. From knee, into flying knee, into elbow. It's just in abundance, really. It's tough. Luckily, I do get him down once again. I knew I couldn't afford to stay on the feet too long, especially with his play style. I mean, like I said, I'm not going to repeat myself, but I am. It's hard playing against, you know, somebody with no block, and then for them to be playing with the style that they are on the feet. I knew I couldn't, you know. 2 more minutes, 30 more seconds on that feet, and the fight may have been irreversible. The damage that has been done may have been, you know, too much for me to be able to come back from. Right now, I'm still getting all these denials off, though. You have to think right now, the possibility of a side control Kimura is on the table. I just don't have the stamina to facilitate it right now either. But I'm getting these denials off. I mean, my grappling is as dominant as it ever has been. I'm able to hold this Russian player in side control as well as I am. Unfortunately, he does escape, but not without the amount of damage, or with the amount of damage I was able to get. And now look, the baby punches I'm absolutely ruining him with. I seen his head held turned red after a single hook on the ground. That just goes to show how much damage I've been able to do on the ground right now. I'm able to get that denial. I'm able to get more elbows in. I'm able to get another denial. Even more elbows in. Unfortunately, he does find his way to sprawl, which is good for him. We may find our way back on the feet, which is anything. No, you know, we would rather anything. We'd rather be on the bottom and side control. Probably not the bottom and mount, to be honest. Mount is a killer position. Luckily, I've not found myself in bottom mount too many times this challenge, this video. Find ourselves back in the half guard though. Lock in that arm triangle. I don't get anything off though. That's more just to reset the timer, break his grapple advantage. Unfortunately, I give up mount. He gets into top. I get into top mount only for him to stand up. I get a rock though. I get a drop. Am I able to capitalize on it? I get double knees into the uppercut, into the late hook, and into the rear uppercut. Can I finally get the finish? And yes, I do. And that is that. That is the challenge complete. I have just defeated 3 Division 20 opponents. Cheesers, everything in this video. Just all into one at heavyweight, no less. The hardest hitting division, using, like I said, no block whatsoever on the ground, in the clinch, on the feet, not one time, and find ourselves the victor in every one of them with just a dominant display of grappling and even, you know, some cheeky head movement. In the first fight, I'm able to land a big counter that leads to the takedown, that leads to the finish. In the second fight, I was able to land to a big counter that leads to the takedown, that leads to the finish, and that'll be that. If you've liked the video, like it'd be appreciated, and if you haven't already subscribed, you much recommend that you do so. Like I said, I appreciate you all for watching again, and have a good day.